Hey everybody, welcome to Diamonds and Hash Marks. It's a Thursday. You know what that means. You get another DNH episode. I'm the host and producer, Alex Pichardo.
I'm the co-host, Peyton Richardo. Yes!
Oh, that's
That was
entirely
aggressive.
too loud. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that. Or maybe not. All right, so if
Just
you're
ride
wearing
with it, ride with
headphones,
it.
we're really sorry. Actually, Peyton's really sorry. I'll apologize for him if you're wearing
I am
headphones.
really sorry.
Yeah,
Hold on, I gotta
that's
probably turn up my mic here in a
golly.
little bit. Yeah.
uh,
There you are. Alright.
you finally changed your hoodie. You're not wearing the brown one.
Not wearing the brown one, not wearing the... I have another one that I wear sometimes, on occasion, but
Yeah,
yeah.
wearing the gray Oakley one.
Yep. I
You
think
know,
you got
I
me this.
think no, I think I bought it for Dad, and it was too big for Dad, and he gave
No,
it
no,
to,
no, you
or
bought it for me.
I okay.
You bought
Well,
it
that's awkward.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad you're using the Christmas gift that I got you. Yeah.
Like years ago, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one that you almost got insanely muddy when we went hiking.
Yep.
You were 2
Probably.
seconds away from just rolling in mud. All right. But that's not what you're here for. You're listening because it's Diamonds and Hash Marks. Your favorite brothers on your favorite podcast. We're available on Apple Podcasts. We're available on Spotify. If you're already on Spotify, go ahead and go check out What's Up Doc. They have a podcast over there as well. Those are some of our friends. They cover sports a lot more in depth than we do, and they cover a bigger variety of sports than we do. So if you want golf content, go check that out. We recently did a crossover episode with them where they did talk golf very briefly. Peyton and I were kind of snoozing during that, but it's golf. Can you blame us? Okay, also, Diamond Hashmark on Twitter. There is no S. If you're looking for us on Twitter, Diamond Hashmark on Twitter. Diamonds and Hashmarks on YouTube. And to let us know what you think about what we think, diamonds and hashmarks at gmail.com. That's really all the housekeeping items that we have for you today. We're going to get into it really soon. But before we do that, we're going to have a contest. There's a fan contest involved. I know you're thinking that's crazy. They're only 14 episodes in at this point. There's no way they're already doing a contest. But heard it here first. Diamonds and Hashmarks is doing a contest. If you follow us on Instagram or on YouTube, I haven't let anybody know that we have an Instagram page yet. Like, that's not on my run sheet. That's embarrassing. Diamonds and Hashmarks on Instagram. We're also
There you
over
go.
there. We're posting clips there and on YouTube. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are more serious. But one of the clips, the first clip that we posted, was in reference to me asking Peyton how many hats were laying on the floor. And the caption that I used was, "How many hats does Peyton have?" And I thought, you know what? That would be a pretty fun contest. So what we are going to do is we're going to have a fan contest, either in the section on Spotify where I ask you, what did you think about this episode, on Instagram, or on one of our YouTube shorts, specifically the one that I'm going to post later today, where I ask if you can correctly guess the number of, what did we say? Because we didn't say hats. We said baseball hats.
Yeah, baseball
If you can
hats.
correctly
Yeah.
guess the number of baseball hats that Peyton has, and he's going to count them as soon as we're done, you are going to get a fan shout out on Thursday's episode of next week. That's how long the contest is going to last. But the person who guesses that number first is the one that wins. If it's not that, it's closest to without going over. And I'm going to keep track. I have
Okay.
no clue how many hats Peyton has. Only
I don't
Peyton
either.
knows that answer, but he doesn't, apparently. So,
I have no idea.
just to reiterate, the fan that guesses the closest to the correct amount of baseball hats Peyton has without going over, or the first to guess the correct number, is going to get a shout out on Thursday's episode. And you're thinking maybe, okay, diamonds and hash marks, they're not that big. What good is a fan shout out? I will have you know that our numbers recently are skyrocketing, and we are low-key blowing up. It is the slowest explosion you have ever seen, but we are blowing up. We love all the love and support that we've been getting from you guys, all the likes, all the follows. Keep it up. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, hit us up with a review. Help out the algorithm figure out who to recommend us to next. We really appreciate it. So, without further ado, it is not a baseball first. It is not a football first Monday. I know, I'm drunk. It's a baseball first Thursday. I'm not actually. I'm just drinking coffee, I promise. Look, it's my little Yoda mug. Okay, this isn't going well so far today. It's a baseball first Thursday. We got a bunch of recap to do since the last episode we did. That was only 2 days ago. Since then, the Texas Rangers have steamrolled the Baltimore Orioles, and the Texas Rangers are moving on. I like the hat.
Come on now.
How are you feeling? Are you like fully bought into the Texas bandwagon now?
Yeah, I was shocked. I think we all were. The Orioles look strong. They have a young core. They're looking at a Texas team, and they're thinking, all right, we're going to make it a series. We're going to take it to maybe 5, But no. Texas came in. The hitters were hot. Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager, Josh Jung. They got dogs. And
I know.
And Max Scherzer is going to be possibly in the championship series against Houston, which we're going to talk about later in the episode. But I don't know how to feel yet. This is a good run that they're on, but I'm not ready to, I don't think, call it a bandwagon just yet.
Okay. All right. But you're liking the way that Texas is looking.
This is what we want to see every single postseason, right? We want to see the team that is counted against to make a run, see if they can make it to the World Series, and if not, then you're like, dang, what a run that they had. They beat the Rays,
Tampa,
they beat the Orioles.
Yeah.
Bro, unbelievable.
Which is incredible, because when you're considering the fact that they did go through the Rays and they did go through the Orioles, and Minnesota matched up pretty well against Toronto and escaped out of there without losing a game.
Yeah.
You look back on it now, and I mean, part of me is very excited to say this. The other part of me is a little sad that I have the opportunity to say this, but at the end of the year, the Boston Red Sox had as many playoff wins as the rest of the AL East. Good thing, because we didn't see the Orioles win, we didn't see the Rays win, and we didn't see the Blue Jays win. Bad thing, because that number is a big fat goose egg. It's a big fat 0. As many wins as Baltimore, as many wins as Tampa, as many wins as Toronto. So a little sad about that. But we did see a very talented Baltimore Orioles team get swept. I didn't think that was going to happen. But I guess kind of what we're learning this postseason is the team that turns in the better starting pitching performance in any given game is going to win that game. And that's kind of what we're seeing so far. I don't think we've seen a bullpen blow up yet, other than Aroldis Chapman, who came in and looked very shaky at the beginning, but he eventually figured it out. Then they brought in Leclerc, and he shut the door against Baltimore the rest of that game. We haven't seen a bullpen blow up. I guess of any team that made the playoffs, the Orioles possibly had the least talented starting pitching. Also, possibly the most tired starting pitching, because none of them have ever pitched this many innings in a given season, let alone played 162, the entire roster, Yeah. So, did you see that happening? Did you see Baltimore getting swept?
No. I mean,
okay.
I expected them to at least make it a series. I thought I was picking Baltimore to at least make it to the championship series. So
yeah, I think we both picked Baltimore. Shows you how much we know over here at DNH.
That's right.
Yeah. Come to us for all your baseball predictions that we will get wrong, and just place your money down on the opposite, and that will almost assuredly happen.
Probably.
So the Orioles did get swept. No wins. You hate it for them. You just hate it for the city of Baltimore, because they wanted so badly to erupt.
Yeah.
But the Texas Rangers and their incredible roster just seem to not really care. They're like, yeah, we get it. You're the Baltimore Orioles, but we also led our division the majority of the year. And we have guys. They're headbanging to Creed before they run out there to play. Mm-hmm. I thought we saw several guys start to light it up again. Josh Jung, Adolis Garcia got a couple good swings off. That lineup is looking scary, especially since I think there was a very specific sequence in that game where the pitcher for the Orioles in Game 3 wasted 15 pitches against Nathaniel Lowe. Now, he didn't exactly waste them, because they were all a part of a very competitive at-bat, but you certainly don't want to be throwing 15 pitches against a single hitter, especially if you're probably going to be limited to 60, 70 pitches on any given night, especially with a short leash in the postseason. So Nathaniel Lowe essentially ate up 1/6 of this guy's start in one at-bat. which I thought was just incredible. And then Nathaniel Lowe seemingly just got comfortable. He started to see the ball well, started to see
Well, he's listening
the timing on the
for the
fastball,
most
started
part,
to get his
and
timing back.
that's what
And then I think he popped out to second base in that one. I think Nathaniel Lowe popped out to second base, but then the next at bat that Nathaniel Lowe happened, he put it over the bleachers.
Okay, you were frozen on my screen for a good 15 seconds, so I have no idea what you just said.
And you were frozen on mine. I was just recapping the at bat. I was just saying he went 15 pitches and he got the
Okay.
timing down and he popped out to second. But the next at bat that he got, he put one in the seats. And now I'm worried that Nathaniel Lowe looks hitterish up there, like Yordan Alvarez style hitterish.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see whose recording makes the clip.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Well, I guess we'll just have to keep our eye on that. Anyway, let's move on to Twins versus Astros. I think Yordan Alvarez is exceptionally scary anytime he goes up there. Jose Altuve is getting booed every at-bat he gets. Alex Bregman is playing phenomenal defense. Justin Verlander through his start. Framber Valdez through his start. Jose Urquidy through his start. Are the Houston Astros for real again?
Sadly, I want to say so.
Don't do it to me.
I know, but I mean, you just named everybody that has been doing phenomenal.
Yeah,
and that are a part of the Astros organization, and
even Pena over at shortstop. Like, he's not having a great year, not having a great postseason, but he's cool, calm, collected, battle tested, and he's getting his job done.
Yeah, and he's already been to the World Series once, and he's already been through every single phase of the postseason. So he's just kind of there, you know.
Yeah.
So.
It's not very fun seeing Houston beat Minneapolis, but at the same time, Minneapolis seemingly gave them every opportunity to beat them. Something that we've been talking about with the Los Angeles Dodgers is who is going to be pitching for Los Angeles. And we're going to get into that question here in a little bit. I didn't expect to be answering that question when it came to Minneapolis. Who was pitching from Minneapolis? It seemed like the only good starts and pitching that we saw out of Minneapolis came from Pablo Lopez, and out of the bullpen from Chris Paddock, who is another starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
They never had an opportunity to get to Johan Duran. And the rest of the pitching staff, rest of the bullpen, seemingly imploded. I mean, Sonny Gray, for what it's worth, had a great year, but he went out there and gave up 4 earned, I think, within the first 2 innings. What happened to Minneapolis? I thought we were starting to buy in on this team.
Yeah, well, I thought we were too. It's that Brian Windhorst. What's going on in
Minneapolis? Yeah, I really don't get it. I thought we were seeing shades of old Carlos Correa. I thought that team was starting to get comfortable.
And then I think he went 0 for 4 or something.
Yeah. And Royce Lewis had a great first game in his playoff career against Toronto. Hit 3 home runs, I think. Have a day,
had a home run last night.
Yeah, had a home run last night. But I think he started to get outside of himself and started trying to pull everything like he did in the game against Toronto instead of looking the other way and getting lucky if he did pull it. So
yeah,
you just hate it for the city of Minneapolis as well. At this point in the year, you really don't want anyone to lose if you don't have a team in it. But I thought they actually had a shot against Houston. I'm not going to lie. And I was texting back and forth with one of my buddies who is a Minneapolis fan. And I was saying that I felt like I was preparing myself to get heartbroken. And he said, yeah, you absolutely are, essentially, is what he said. So I guess that's part of being a Twins fan, which sucks. So shout out to all the Twins fans. But I was starting to buy in on that team. Unfortunately, it looked like they ran into the juggernaut of Houston. And Houston does look for real. I will agree with you there. I put in the group chat that I was already worried about a Houston-Philadelphia rematch. And if we don't get a different result, I'm going to be insufferable the entire offseason.
You will
Especially if Houston wins back-to-back World Series a year after, or a couple years removed from their series against the Washington Nationals in 2019. Especially after the 2017 scandal. I'm done. Ready to move on. I don't want to see the Cavs Warriors game 1 for the 18th straight year. Give me a new American League champion.
It was fun the first couple of times, and then it's now starting.
And then we found out you cheated, and you didn't really apologize for it. So ready to move on. Unfortunately, or I don't know if it's unfortunate, but they will be taking on the Texas Rangers to find out who represents the American League in the World Series. We said a while ago, multiple episodes ago, that we could possibly see Verlander versus Scherzer in the playoffs. It faded because Scherzer got hurt.
Yeah.
If you are Bruce Bochy and you look at your starting pitchers who are available, Jordan Montgomery, I don't think it's possible Nathan Eovaldi could be available for game one. Max Scherzer, if he's healthy, hasn't pitched in a while, certainly ready, has enough energy to go game one. If you're Bruce Bochy, who are you going with and why is it Max Scherzer?
I think you touched on it. It's the energy that he brings, for one. Max is Max. Max is Mad Max. Max will
Indeed
always
he
be
is.
mad at everything in the world because the pitch misses outside of the zone for like the one time. And yeah,
is that coming through clearly? I don't think my camera. Okay, well, it is. Further back, it did.
Yeah.
That's Max Scherzer celebrating the series win against Baltimore. Obviously, going insane in the clubhouse. I made it my wallpaper at the behest of my wife, but it looks like it's Max Scherzer, and he brings the energy, as you were saying. I'm excited to see it. I know
that was a long pause, a long silence. I apologize.
It's fine. So I'm looking forward to seeing Max Scherzer if he's healthy.
Me too.
Who do you think wins that? If it's game one, Max Scherzer versus Justin Verlander, who takes that?
Bats are strong on Houston. Bats are strong on both sides, but I think Houston has a little bit of the advantage there. Max is going to go 6, maybe 7.
You know Verlander's going 6, maybe 7. I hate it, but I think I have to take Houston just because they're battle tested and they've done this before. Bregman knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to slow down the moment and go up there and take his at bat. So does Altuve, so does Alvarez, so does everybody on that roster.
Yep. So sadly.
So keep your eyes peeled. We could see a Verlander Scherzer. So why is that exciting? Why is Verlander Scherzer an exciting thing? Well, for starters, over there in Detroit, they were on the same team. And then they went their separate ways. Earlier this year, they were 1-2 on their respective roster over there in New York with the Mets. And then we saw both of them traded just around the trade deadline. And so we could see multiple New York Mets playing in the American League Championship Series while the Mets are sitting at home enjoying their time off. I bet they're down there in Cancun. If I had the money, I would.
Why not? Yeah, right. I mean, Pete Alonso might be up there in Milwaukee, but you never know.
Yeah, he could. Well, that is your hot take so far.
Hot take. Yeah.
Braves and Phillies. It is a red October over there in Citizens Bank Park. Game one, we saw Atlanta get shut out. The number one offense in all of baseball get shut out for the first time since before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think that was going to happen. It was weird to watch because you're so used to this offense putting the ball in play and scoring runs, but then they just didn't. Game two, Philly held that game most of the night. Then the wheels started to come off in the late innings, and you saw Austin Riley with one hand put a ball over the fence to take the lead.
Yep.
They come out. Iglesias is out there to collect the save in the ninth. Bryce Harper gets on. Nick Castellanos comes up. We're going to talk about Nick Castellanos and pop culture here in a second. But Nick Castellanos comes up and puts a ball into the right center field gap. Michael Harris is going after it. Bryce Harper rounds second base. Doesn't tag up. Michael Harris makes a catch. Throws the ball back in. Mini earthquake happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's tied 1-1 going into Philly.
Yeah.
And what happened last night in Philly was something to watch. That was a laugher. It turned into a laugher very quick.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, I think, said it best. Bryce Elder doesn't have a heartbeat. He goes out there. You don't know what the guy's thinking. He's very solemn, very calm, cool, collected. Yeah. Then he gave up one of the more impressive Bryce Harper home runs I think we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I lost count of what deck that ball went in after 3.
Yeah. I know. And then, I mean, I think we all saw the picture of him staring down on Orlando Arcia at
That's
a
cold.
shortstop. It's that take that to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And have it on
Frame it in the
biggest
Louvre.
walls. Yes, frame
Yeah.
it in the Louvre.
Because he didn't do it just once, he did it a second time.
Yeah.
He stared down Orlando Arcia a second time. Why is
Yeah.
that a big deal? Well, Orlando Arcia was caught within the Brave Zone locker room, kind of trash talking Bryce Harper because Bryce Harper made the bonehead decision to round second base on a ball in the air that didn't exactly look like it was getting down.
Yeah.
So that's why he was staring him down.
So Bryce Harper redeemed and responded.
Absolutely, absolutely. So is the rest of the Philly offense because they certainly didn't miss out on their fair share of home runs. It didn't look like it mattered who the Braves put out there. The Phillies offense was poised and ready to score a bunch of runs.
Yep.
An offense with Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper. Even Rojas out there in center field, Brandon Marsh, Christian Pagey. It doesn't look like that. I forgot to mention JT Realmuto. It doesn't look like there's an easy out there because they also have Bryson Stott and they also have Alec Boehm.
Yeah.
There's no easy out there. So put yourself in the shoes of Bryce Elder for a second. You're starting game 3, first game played in Philly in a while.
Yeah.
Where is your easy out in the lineup?
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah. It's impossible.
Proves your point.
To go up there against Philly, especially in Philly. Is there a more electric playoff atmosphere than Citizens Bank Park right now?
No. I think we saw like a testament to that at the 2008 World Series. If you just look back at footage from there.
Yeah.
They were pumped.
Gosh. Yeah. Man. There's another playoff series. The one against the Reds. Roy Halladay throwing a no-hitter. It was raucous then too.
Yes.
And it's like there's this built-up legacy as to what the playoff atmosphere is like in Philadelphia, and now the fans just live up to it. That's all they're trying to do is just live up to the legacy, and they keep adding on every time.
Yes,
because they keep getting louder.
Yeah.
Mini earthquake happened in Atlanta. Let's see if Philly can top that. That will be interesting to see. It's the only series still going. So we got Game 4 tonight. We got Spencer Strider going for the Atlanta Braves against Ranger Suarez for the Philadelphia Phillies, who threw a fantastic first 5 innings. Or first 4 innings. It may have been 4 instead of 5. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But Ranger Suarez went out there in the first game of the series and got the job done. And then he got pulled. He didn't look exactly enthused that he was getting pulled, which is understandable. The guy's a competitor.
Yeah.
But elimination game for Atlanta. Philly's got the opportunity to clinch and move on to the next round. Who are you taking tonight?
Philly.
Yeah, so Philly all the way. You're selling out the idea that this actually goes 5 games?
Philly by a million.
Okay. I don't think that's what I was hoping to hear. I want to see this at least go 5 games because I think that's what we the fans deserve.
Million.
It doesn't matter what I say. You're just going to keep taking Philly, I guess.
Yeah.
So I got the hat for it. I guess I'm rooting for Atlanta tonight. I think if we're going by what I've said the past couple of times, the better starting pitching performance is going to get you the win because we haven't seen a bullpen blow up. So watch this. This will be the first time a bullpen blows up. But I think Spencer Strider, of the two, is the better pitcher. Just look at the numbers over the course of this year between him and Ranger Suarez. That's no disrespect to Ranger Suarez, but Spencer also struggles in the postseason against Philly in Philly. It'll be interesting, but I'm hoping the Braves can pull this one out.
Yeah.
Los Angeles and Arizona. Last series that we're going to recap. Last series that was out there. Oh, okay. Also, why is it that Major League Baseball plays all of its most important games when it's not necessarily prime time? It's very late at night if it's on the West Coast. And if it's on the East Coast, it's at 1 p.m. when people are in school. Why is that a thing? Because the NFL doesn't do that. The NBA doesn't do that. The NHL doesn't do that. Like the NHL, the lesser of the 4 major sports, has at least figured out that you need to put your most important games on primetime when everybody's available to watch.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's just a question that is a little rhetorical, I guess.
Yeah.
I did say we were going to touch on Nick Castellanos real quick and his pop culture, but Nick Castellanos has this thing where he tends to have some of his biggest moments during the worst times for the broadcast. This all started in Kansas City when a Kansas City Royals announcer or the Cincinnati Reds announcer at the time, I forget who, said something he shouldn't have. They come back from commercial, and then he's issuing an apology. Castellanos leads it off with a deep fly to right field, home run, in the middle of this guy's apology. Nick Castellanos, not the first time. There have been several other times where Nick Castellanos has hit a deep fly into the outfield or has made some sort of significant play in the outfield during the worst times for the broadcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it, but
No.
the Braves playing the Phillies, they come back from commercial or whatever. Nick Castellanos coming up to the plate soon. They said now is the best time to talk about former Phillies manager Charlie Manuel, who recently had a stroke and is recovering from having a stroke. And they cut away from the game and they go to Charlie Manuel, who's 80-something years old, taking batting practice as part of his rehab. Like, the guy's still kicking. He's doing fine. But they're talking about how he's recovering from his stroke.
Yeah.
No more than 2 seconds after they bring the broadcast back and they're still talking about Charlie, Nick Castellanos puts a ball in the seats. So now they got to stop talking about Charlie Manuel and his stroke. And now they're talking about Nick Castellanos rounding the bases and the Philly bells ringing in the background.
That's insane.
He's done it before.
I didn't catch that, no.
And he'll just continue to do it. Nick Castellanos forever. All right,
Wow.
moving on. Los Angeles, Arizona. Let's actually get into it. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I think you and I both said that Los Angeles was going to win this one.
Ooh, goodness.
We both said that if there was a series that we could look at and say, okay, that one's kind of in the bag already, we would have said this one. I think both of us picked Los Angeles. What happened?
They didn't have pitching. All they had was Kershaw. And I guess it just went to show that just like throughout the series with Kershaw, Miller, and Lance Lynn, that they really weren't as pegged out as they wanted to be. And they paid for it.
Yeah, they paid for it dearly.
And Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman went 1 for 21 that whole entire series.
That's incredible. I didn't believe that stat.
You're 1 and 2 guys who've had phenomenal years, MVP seasons probably. Like, I would put Mookie
Acuna
second. Well, no. That's what I'm saying. So Acuna first, Mookie second, and Freddie Freeman third. Maybe you should let me finish talking.
Okay, anyway. My bad. Sorry. I have thoughts.
I know, and I have the same thoughts as you do in regards to the NL MVP. Yeah, but anyway, you're second and third in MVP voting for this year, and they went 1 for 21. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. We were saying prior to the series even starting, looking at the end of the year, who's going to pitch for Los Angeles? And what you and I came up with was Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn. That's who they had. That's what they had. That's what they could work with. They got into the series, and who were your starting pitchers? Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn. Who lost the games? Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn.
Yep.
The Los Angeles offense absolutely did not help them out by scoring nearly as many runs as Arizona did.
Yeah.
But kind of difficult for an offense to operate when the opposing starting pitcher can walk out there and in the first inning already has a 4-run lead. Or in the second inning has a 4-run lead because suddenly he's attacking the zone. Yeah. And there really is no, okay, let's see if we can figure this guy out early. It's a lot more, all right, he's coming right at us. And it's really just our best against his best. And for what it's worth, Arizona got the job done. You know?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll get an Arizona Diamondbacks hat.
Well, okay, you're going to have to wait until at least the end of Wednesday of next week. Okay. But Montero, the catcher, took a foul ball off his hand. It looked like it swelled up real fast.
Yeah. I saw
that was disgusting. A little, like, I'm not squeamish, but also I didn't expect his hand to already be puffy.
Yeah.
Corbin Carroll getting the job done. Ketel Marte getting the job done. There was a home run hit into right field. Or not necessarily a home run. That went foul. It's just a long strike. But then the next pitch, he put it into the left field seats.
Yeah.
And you and I texted each other at the same time. Ball don't lie. Like, Arizona's clearly better. It's their game. We could sit here and talk about Los Angeles' failures. any day of the week for
Oh,
as
yeah,
many hours
totally.
or as in the day. But do you think Arizona actually has a shot? Because it's either the Braves or it's the Phillies coming out of the NL DS on the other side to match up in the NLCS. Does
Yeah.
Arizona have a shot?
Well, shot to make to the World Series, no, because Philly's going to take that and they're going to go to the World Series probably.
Okay.
So
Philly by a million.
Philly by a million, baby. That's what I want to believe anyway. I think Philly has like a really good chance to get back to the World Series and have another Houston Astros Philly World Series. But we said this last time. We thought the Dodgers were going to absolutely crush these Diamondbacks. They're scary.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they go out and take this next series into 7.
Oh, really? You think this next series goes 7?
At this point, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about my takes anymore.
I know. You say it's going 7. It's going to be a sweep. They're only
It's
using
gonna be
4.
a sweep. Yeah. I'm like, but only thing I'll say is Arizona's scary. Texas
Arizona.
is scary.
Yeah. Man.
Philly's that dark horse that we've been saying this whole entire time.
If you're sitting in the commissioner's office and you're looking at the cities that are left in this, it's Houston, Arlington, Philly, Atlanta, and Phoenix, Arizona. At this point, now everything's going to change later tonight, possibly, if Game 5 isn't necessary.
Yeah.
But Arizona versus Arlington isn't necessarily the biggest market that you could have for a World Series.
Right.
Certainly not what I would have predicted opening day.
Nope.
So that's interesting. Just that you could see 2 very small market teams.
Yeah.
At What's Up, Doc? Because we did talk about salary cap and how salary cap isn't the issue in Major League Baseball, and baseball actually has more parity. But we'll move on. I've already had that conversation with them. I kind of brought them around on that. Anyway, it's time to play Buy, Sell, or Hold. We're around the 30-minute mark, so let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, as we do every week, starting with baseball and Buy, Sell, or Hold, and then kind of changing gears into football, and it's how we introduce our football conversation to you. So let's start with a little bit of baseball. Buy, Sell, or Hold. That was the last time we saw Clayton Kershaw.
I'd say buy. I saw a report that came out that said that Kershaw is like weighing out all of his options. He's got an exam on his left shoulder that he has to probably go through here in these next couple of months. So I'm thinking he's done. I'm thinking he's looking at. He's going to look at his shoulder, his left shoulder. It's going to be like you have like this amount of a lot of time left in this shoulder, and then he's going to be like, okay. Then
and for what it's worth, the last time he played a game in Los Angeles and started, he was booed off the field.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Is that something that could keep him away? Just the fact that he got booed last time? Not necessarily his performance. Obviously, he's bigger than that, having stayed in the game as long as he has. You're going to go out there and get shelled every once in a while.
As long as he has and been a Dodger through and through all those years.
It's not like he came over in some trade wearing a different uniform.
Right.
He's been a Dodger his entire career.
Yeah.
So do you think getting booed off?
Son.
Yeah, he was. Do you think getting booed off the field will keep him away?
I don't think that's not Kershaw's nature. I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely something to think about.
Certainly didn't appear like there was any loyalty in Los Angeles
at all. They were letting it rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were having a field day. So here's what I'll say about this. I'm gonna say hold. But I will say this. I'm willing to buy that Clayton Kershaw is done in Los Angeles.
He's gonna go somewhere. Oh, you did mention in last episode that he heads here.
Texas Rangers. That's where, if Clayton Kershaw is playing baseball in 2024, he's playing in Texas with the Texas Rangers. For what it's worth, I don't know who in the Texas Rangers organization needs to hear it, but Clayton Kershaw needs to be on your starting roster to start the year in 2024. I don't know who your 5 guys are to start the year as starting pitchers. Could be a combination of Scherzer, Evaldi, Kershaw, Monty, and DeGrom.
Yeah.
Could be your starting roster. I know that Kershaw has been linked to Texas in the past just because of the Nolan Ryan, Alvin Texas, I don't know, feel. I think he's from around there. I think he loves Nolan Ryan. I don't know if that's true about him or not, but I know for a fact he's been linked to Texas in the past.
Sure.
So that's what I'll say. I'm going to say hold, but I'm also going to put another contingency on it. I'm going to say he's done in Los Angeles, though, and he's
He was
definitely going.
born in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. That's beautiful. I think he's a Texas Ranger next year if he's playing baseball.
Yeah.
Let's
goes back
stay in
home.
Texas.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Buy, sell, or hold. Max Scherzer versus Justin Verlander actually happens. I gotta throw it out there. Do you think it actually happens? Right.
Bye.
My bad. Sorry.
That's happening for sure.
Okay.
There's no way it doesn't. I really want it to happen, and if not, then we're getting a Verlander, Nathan Eovaldi, or Jordan.
It's not going to be a bad matchup.
It's not going to be a bad matchup. Whatever way you look at it, it's going to be good. But
yeah,
everybody wants that Scherzer Verlander.
I want it specifically to go and read New York Mets Twitter posts because you know that they're just going to be down bad.
Yep.
The entire game.
Yep.
The entire series. The second that it is announced,
yes,
they're just going to be abhorrent. They're going to hate every second of it. They might not watch, which is what I'm here for. It's the content I love.
Insane.
Buy, sell, or hold. It doesn't matter how good you are. The Phillies aren't losing in Citizens Bank Park.
That's a good one. Gosh, yeah. I mean, we were talking about it, I think, earlier, just so that, like, Citizens Bank Park is just the atmosphere you want to be in. Philadelphia, in a sense, is the atmosphere that you want to be in any postseason playoff sport in the city. I think is where you
easily.
I
think it would be better than any of the Eagles games.
No matter if it's the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers. Who else am I missing? Is that it?
The 76ers?
The 76ers? Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
But that's very indicative of where that franchise is.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Man. Yeah.
So you're buying that. You're saying Phillies by $1 million, doesn't matter. So I would love to buy this, but if I buy this, it means Atlanta's losing tonight, so I'm selling. Wholeheartedly selling. I need Atlanta to move on. But I just love watching the Red October stuff that they're doing. I actually looked earlier today to see if I could buy Phillies tickets for the next round. Like I've never flown before in my life. I've only gone to a handful of Major League Baseball games, but I want to see a Red October.
Yeah. Hey, I would be down. I would be down, but tickets are probably
stupid expensive, I'm sure. Which is why as soon as they're announced, I'm gonna go look again and try to convince my wife to let me go, or to go with me.
To go with you. Nice.
We've seen a lot in the news recently about the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson being placed on IR, so he's missing at least 4 weeks now. Lots of news about Kirk Cousins possibly getting traded because they brought in and worked out a couple other quarterbacks. So
they brought in quarterbacks. That's great.
Yeah, to work them out. Now, the reason they did that, though, and this is important, context matters, is the backup quarterback was hurt during a practice recently, I believe. So they brought in a couple quarterbacks to work them out to see who's going to back up Kirk Cousins. But is it worth throwing Kirk Cousins out there if Justin Jefferson's not going to be out there? Like, you're probably not really winning a game realistically the way that offense is designed.
Right.
However, it leads me to this buy, sell, or hold.
Okay.
Buy, sell, or hold, by season's end, regardless of record, the Minnesota Vikings will be looking for a new quarterback.
Ooh. Looking for a new quarterback in the sense of, like, traded? I don't think
Not
so.
Kirk Cousins. Just looking for a different option other than Kirk Cousins is all that means.
Yeah.
You think, regardless of record, if Minnesota goes and wins the Super Bowl, do you think Kirk Cousins is done in Minnesota?
No. If they win the Super Bowl, I think he'll stay.
I think he'll retire if that happens, quite honestly.
Honestly, that's probably not
after watching that Netflix series, I think Kirk would retire if that happened.
Yeah. I would have to agree. He'd probably retire. So
okay. But if they get stopped in the playoffs, is Kirk Cousins still a quarterback in Minnesota next training camp? I say no.
I say no.
I have to buy. I hate it. I love Kirk. I want him to do well. But I do think that by season's end, regardless of record, they're moving on. Obviously, if they finish with a losing record. But even if they finish with a winning record, I don't think he's safe. All right. Got a little
All right.
college football action
Let's do
coming
it.
to you. Buy, sell, or hold. Notre Dame will finish the season unranked. Believe it or not. Notre Dame is still ranked. Right now,
my gosh.
Notre Dame is ranked.
Your buy sell holds today are insane because I'm buying every single one.
Yeah, they're hot takes, but not really.
Not really.
They're kind of obvious. Just nobody's saying that out loud
Inevitable. Yeah. No,
Notre Dame finishing unranked is
I do
inevitable every season.
Yeah. I don't know how they're how are they ranked. They're 21st. That's insane. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, they dropped a bunch of points, but okay, buy, sell, or hold. They finished the season unranked.
Buy.
You're buying?
Yeah, I'm buying.
What do you think I'm doing?
You're pulling up the Whopper ad?
No. That we would get copyrighted so fast.
Well, you went to your keyboard, and I thought you were like typing
to look at Notre Dame to figure out who they're playing this week because I didn't look at the run sheet, but it's actually there too.
Are they not?
They are. So we're gonna get into that here in a second.
Yeah.
I'll say this before they even play the game this week. I don't think Notre Dame should be ranked at all.
Yeah. I agree.
Because they are horrendous. They're an independent school. They get to pick their own schedule. They get pants on national television every week. Notre Dame shouldn't be ranked. All right, moving on. Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat. Buy, sell, or hold. This is what, his third year replacing Jason Garrett?
Yeah, third year replacing Jason Garrett.
Who is killing it on Sunday Night Football, by the way. But buy, sell, or hold. This is Mike McCarthy's. I'm not saying this is last year. That's me changing the words. My bad. Buy, sell, or hold. Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat.
I'm going to have to hold. Depends on how they finish. I think in the playoffs. If they make it to the playoffs, I think he stays. Actually,
well, earlier in the year we said buy, sell, or hold. Dallas misses the playoffs, and you bought.
I did.
Are you still thinking that?
I am still thinking that, but I mean.
So if that happens, is Mike McCarthy still coaching?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we know what Peyton. If I took the inverse of every sports take that you had, I could buy a house in Florida right now.
No, you definitely could. Yeah. So, gosh, I'm a hold. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm buying. Okay. I think he's on the hot seat. Okay, here's why. I look at their owner, Jerry Jones. He's probably thinking, how much time do I have left? And that's not a comment on Jerry's age. That's a comment on how much longer he can continue doing what he's doing in Dallas.
You meant for it to be his age.
Jerry Jones is old, but I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean Jerry Jones is asking how much longer he's on Earth. I'm saying he's wondering how much longer he can keep being the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's true.
That's all I meant
80.
by that.
I thought he was older than that. So he's 80.
Okay.
14.2 billion. That boy is rich.
Right. I don't think I could ever get to Jerry's wealth.
None of us can.
So that wraps up buy, sell, or hold this week. A bit chaotic, but I do want to take a second to reiterate for our football-only listeners that we are having a contest. I don't know if you follow us on Instagram or YouTube at all, but we are posting clips there, and we're seeing some pretty good interaction there, so we're going to keep doing it. One of the clips that was posted was me asking Peyton how many of his hats were laying on the floor, and he said 3. So the contest is the fan that can correctly guess the exact number of baseball hats that Peyton has, or the fan that comes closest to the number without going over first will get a shout out on next Thursday's episode. So go ahead and throw that in the comment section on YouTube or on Instagram or on Spotify. If you're listening there, you can enter in that number on the what did you think about this episode. I may even change the question to ask how many hats does Peyton have? And that's where you can put your entry in. If you also have a buy, sell, or hold submission, that's where you enter that in. But the winner gets a shout out on next Thursday's episode. So stay tuned.
All right. Let's do it. I'm excited.
College football is where we're going to start. We always go chronological. Lots of games this week, as always, but a lot of teams taking this week off. It's the bye week for a lot of teams. So what we're actually going to do for our college football conversation is we're going to start with the top 25 rank, because we didn't do that on Tuesday's version of Monday's episode.
We did not.
We didn't talk about what teams are there that doesn't make sense to you. Are there any rankings that look a little backwards? Are there any surprises? Are there any things that are fairly obvious to you?
Yeah.
I look at this list. I know that Texas lost, and they were the number 3 team in the nation. They dropped down to 9. I still think they're top 10 worthy. I still think they're going to get a pretty good bowl. Depending on how their conference championship goes, I think we could see Texas in the college football playoffs still. Actually, they're still in what, the Big 12? Does the Big 12 have a conference championship?
Yeah, so Oklahoma, or is Oklahoma in the SEC? I thought Oklahoma was Big 12.
They are. Oklahoma and Texas are both still Big 12, but does the Big 12 have a conference championship? Like, some conferences don't have conference championship games.
I think they do. I'll check.
Yeah, right now. You can go ahead and look that up and fact check me right there. But the one thing about this list that surprises me, I'm not going to go the Notre Dame route here.
Yeah, they have a championship. They have a championship. They do? Game. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think if Texas could
because Kansas State, they beat TCU, right?
True. Yeah, they're all in the Big 12. Okay. Yeah. So we could see Texas back in the college football playoff if they win I think that's their only route, though.
But
honestly,
I think their matchup would be Oklahoma if Oklahoma still plays up to.
Well, are they in the same division? This is how much we know about college. They are in the same division.
Yeah, I think. Like, I know.
So
Oklahoma
in order,
is Big 12.
Right. But a different division. Like, who gets matched up in the Big 12 championship game?
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Because if Oklahoma and Texas are in the same division, then that would be an issue for Texas because then they would need Oklahoma to lose a game.
Yeah.
To get in.
Happen. Yeah. I'll look at that as well. You keep going.
Okay. So I'm not going to go the Notre Dame route on what surprises me because I don't think they should be ranked at all. And you guys already heard my thoughts on that. I may get into it a little bit here in a second. But the thing that surprises me is Southern Cal is within the top 10. Southern Cal holds the number 10 spot right now, above Alabama, above Ole Miss, Louisville, who's undefeated and just destroyed Notre Dame, who you guys think are ranked so highly, higher than Utah, who had an abhorrent loss against Oregon State or Oklahoma State, one of the two, can't remember. It was orange. They got Washington State and Tennessee tied for 19th. That doesn't make any sense. One of them is 19th. One of them is 20th. LSU, another loss. They're a 4-2, 22nd ranked team.
Yeah. I don't know. LSU surprises me. I don't think they should be in the top.
I don't think they should either.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. The top 10 right now looking very strong.
Spot on. Yes, I was going to add to that. Like, the top 10, like, I have no problems with.
Yeah, I got no problems. Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, Oklahoma 5, Penn State 6, Washington 7, Oregon 8, Texas 9, Southern Cal 10. Yes. After 10 is where we start having some issues, possibly.
Yes, yeah, agreed.
All right. Upcoming this week, we have a top 10 matchup. As little college football is actually on this week, meaningful college football is on. There is a top 10 matchup, and this is one of the games that stands out to me. Oregon versus Washington, number 8 versus number 7. I don't think this game is getting the hype it deserves.
Yeah, this is the first time I think I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, it's a top 10 matchup, and it's not being blasted everywhere. Like, I think ESPN or ABC, CBS, whoever's carrying this game needs to be shouting this from the rooftops. They need to be putting ads on TBS and FS1 where the playoff baseball games are so that people know this game is actually happening, because I didn't know it was.
Yeah, it's on ABC, so it's at ESPN.
Yeah. So we got Oregon versus Washington coming up this week. I'm looking forward to seeing Bo Nix. I think he actually is talented. I think last year he got a bad rap because Oregon got absolutely blasted by Georgia early on in the year. Yeah. And they didn't really recover from that. But I do think Bo Nix is talented. I think Oregon is very talented. I think they could go out there and actually shock some people and beat Washington, which, if that happens, suddenly you're trying to figure out where to fit Oregon in the top, 6?
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, you're looking at Washington and what Penix Jr.'s doing over there. Almost 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. Did you see the stat, the other yardage stat about the Vanderbilt punter?
Yes, the career thing.
Yeah, he's had a career 11,000 punt yards over there at Vanderbilt.
Yeah. insane.
Program
Insane.
is in the toilet.
Yeah.
If you're setting a record for the most amount of punt yards in college football history,
Wait, I
because you're
was there at that
you
game when he
were
set the record.
Peyton, you've been to one college football game, and what did you witness? A punter setting a record,
Yeah,
the
that's
most
crazy.
punt yards in history.
That's
Wild.
crazy.
Because that means that's 4 straight, if not 5 straight years that he's been there where they have been terrible, and he's out there every 4th down kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
And not just kicking the ball away, he's the best player on the team because he's booming that thing.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's what he's doing out there. They're playing Georgia. They're going to get destroyed and tossed around like a rag doll. It's not going to be a pretty game.
So
Yeah, so if you're that bored
go
on a
tune
Saturday
in.
afternoon, go tune in there. But
Watch
I think
Vanderbilt will win.
Saturday, I know that's the one game that we're not talking about.
Right.
It's it's just consistent with this podcast. But Saturday
Yeah.
is actually game 1 of Rangers versus Houston. So I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be tuning in to watch Georgia get tossed around like a rag doll by Vanderbilt, or if I'm going to tune in to watch Oregon and Washington. Like, I'm going to be hyping up that Saturday game for myself.
Yeah.
Any other games stick out to you?
Yeah, I was looking at them. I don't think so. Let me keep looking.
Because if not, I want to talk USC versus Notre Dame.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start us off with that? Because I do want to talk about that as well.
Okay. Let's see. I think all of our listeners know exactly where I stand on Notre Dame. I made my thoughts on them very clear a couple episodes ago. I think, in case you didn't listen to last episode or 2 episodes ago, I do think that Notre Dame is harder to watch than the Burger King ad, simply because the Burger King ad means you have to suffer through 30 seconds. Meanwhile, the Notre Dame game means you have to suffer through possibly 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a quicker way to die, watching the Burger King ad, basically.
Yeah.
It puts you out of misery pretty soon, pretty easily, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think USC. Let's go look at the point spread of this game.
I was just about to look at it too. That's funny.
Okay, because I don't, whatever the number is, and I don't think it's any greater than 45.
Notre Dame is favored.
Absolutely not.
No, they're favored. They're favored by 3.
No, that can't be real.
No,
can't be real.
I am so serious.
You're lying.
Favored by
You're
3.
lying right now.
They're favored by 3.
I can't, guys. Okay, so I'm not a betting man. However, I may have to start because I need to slam USC as the favorite and covering the spread here. What's the over-under? Can't be more than 45. So they're thinking that Notre Dame, they really think that Notre Dame's going out there and is scoring 30-plus points?
Yeah.
You're lying.
I'm
You're
not.
lying. No, I'm pulling it up right now.
No, yeah. So
I have
Notre
to see
Dame
this with my
favored
own
by
eyes.
3, over under of 60 in Notre
Who's
Dame.
that by? Is that by Caesar Sportbooks?
Caesar Sportsbooks. Caesar Sportsbooks.
That's insane. Okay, guys, I can't. Okay, yeah, I may have to start betting this weekend.
I just spit everywhere.
You did. That was disgusting. But if you listen to us for betting content, I will go ahead and say, you need to stop listening to us because we clearly don't understand what's happening or what the numbers actually mean. And you need to stop betting if you're listening to us for betting advice. However, I may start because Notre Dame as a favorite in any game going forward, even if they were playing UAB, is insane to me. So I got USC winning this one by 1 million. I see USC actually winning this game possibly by a margin of greater than 30.
Yeah. Totally.
All right, buy seller hold. Buy seller hold. USC wins their game against Notre Dame by 4 touchdowns. That's 28 points.
Buy.
Easiest buy ever. It's okay, buy seller hold. That's an easier buy than Dallas missing the playoffs.
Oh, gosh.
You know you want to. You know, yeah. Okay. So I mean, not a whole lot that we could work with as far as college football games. Lots of people are taking this week off, but I mean that Oregon-Washington game is going to be interesting, and I may have to watch USC Notre Dame just for the sake of rubbing it in Las Vegas's face. But if they turn out right, then we're going to have to invite Caesar Sportbooks on the show to explain themselves and how they knew.
Yeah.
we may just not record an episode if Notre Dame wins. Let's change gears here. NFL, It's coming up on Sunday. First time in 3 weeks that the Jags are going to be playing a regularly timed game on a Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
For those of you who love Josh Lawson, and there are a lot of you, the Ginger, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's still one of our most highly rated, highly watched episodes that we've ever put out. He will be joining us Monday for our entire football conversation. And he's our resident Colts fan. He's going to give us the Colts point of view on most things. I'm hoping for a similar result where the Jags win, even if it means taking the lead late like we did last time. But the Jags are playing the Colts this upcoming weekend. Last time we saw...
Anthony Richardson's out. He's been placed on IR. So guess who is going to be the quarterback?
Gardner Minshew.
Sir Gardner Minshew. Minshew
The
Mania.
second.
Everybody knows. Oh, the second, yes.
Junior.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, he's trying to play down the revenge tour game thing.
Yeah.
People in media trying to make it more than what he wants it to be. But come on, let's be realistic. It is a revenge game for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jags versus Colts, Gardner Minshew is starting. Do you think Jacksonville has a problem?
Nah. I don't think so.
I don't know. Anthony Richardson kind of gave us a run for our money, and that was without Jonathan Taylor. Gardner Minshew can pass the ball around, and he has a legit running game because Jonathan Taylor is there.
That's true. But I don't see it being a real threat, and then I could be just proven wrong. Have that happen again?
Yeah,
so.
That happens pretty frequently here on DNH.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne, I'm looking for him to follow up last week's performance. Travis, I'm begging you, let's not make this a one-off thing that happens once every 5 or 6 weeks. Let's do this consistently.
Yeah.
Let's do this in Jacksonville. It's a game in front of the fans. It's going to be nice and cool, I think,
73
on Sunday, something like that in Jacksonville. So let's have a good game, guys. I want a nice, clean game. The AFC
those cool
South
games in
I know
Jacksonville,
you don't get many cool games in the AFC South.
Yeah, I know.
Because one of the stadiums is air conditioned over there in Lucas Oil.
Yeah,
and in Texas actually. Aren't the Texans? Isn't it?
So. Yeah, they're indoor. You're right.
All right. Anyway, the AFC South, I think, really quickly within a matter of a couple weeks went from this is a poverty division and the Jaguars are clearly winning to oh snap, each team, with the exception of the Tennessee Titans, because nobody really knows what's going on over there. Like, how insane is that? We are, shout out my boy Clay Travis. I've been listening to you for years. I'm really sorry about what's happening over there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
But how crazy is it that we are 6 weeks into the year, and I haven't heard Derrick Henry's name mentioned once?
Right, yeah. It's
I don't know who's the current starting quarterback for Tennessee.
It's Tannehill.
Are we sure? Is it not Malik Willis? Or Will Levis at this point?
I'm pretty sure it's Tannehill. I can look real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's crazy in itself. Like talent, like Derrick Henry. I've seen that man live, in Jacksonville.
He's huge.
Yeah, like bigger than most linemen.
Yeah,
huh?
we went from the AFC South is a poverty division. The Jags should have this easy because they have the best quarterback. To oh snap, the AFC South looks pretty ripe for the future. With the exception of Tennessee, your starting quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. If everybody stays healthy, I see them being what the Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos division, don't know what it is, AFC West. I see them being what the AFC West could have been.
Yeah.
If Derek Carr was healthy, playing well, if Russell Wilson wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
If everybody was good over there. But I see the AFC South poised for a really good future.
Yeah, me too.
Now living in Gainesville, Florida, and I don't know what the facts are for you over there in Fort Myers, Peyton, but Eagles versus Jets is the game that I most want to watch as the late game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I don't think I get to watch it. I don't think I'm in the broadcast viewing area.
Is that game out on Fox? Because if it's Fox, then it's going to be America's Game of the Week, probably.
Well, I think it is, but I think whatever broadcast area Florida falls in for that is a different game.
That's crazy. Hold on.
Yeah. So Eagles versus Jets, you got Jalen Hurts going up against Zach Wilson. Now, Zach Wilson didn't exactly win the game the last time the Jets went out there, but he didn't exactly lose the game.
Correct. Yeah.
It was a Nathaniel Hackett revenge tour, and we saw the New York Jets, for what it's worth, get the job done
Yeah.
against the Broncos. Suddenly, this team is 2-3 and could very well be 3-3 at the end of the week. But they are playing the Eagles. Do you think the Eagles have something to worry about?
I don't think so. I think the Eagles
No?
are too strong with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and the slot. I think they're chilling.
Now, Vegas is high because they have said that Notre Dame is the favorite against USC. Do you think...
The Jets are the favorite?
No, they're not the favorite, but the Eagles are only favored by 7.
I think that's pretty good.
You think it is?
Yeah.
So you think that the Eagles only winning by a touchdown against the Jets is realistic?
I mean, yeah, the Jets almost beat the Chiefs. They were only down by a field goal, 20 to 23. So I could definitely see that. Like, Jets are going to make it close, but I mean, Eagles are going to win.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that one. I know that the Jets defense is really good. I know that the Eagles offense has had its early season struggles. I do think the Eagles started to click last week, though.
Yeah.
AJ Brown got the ball quite a lot. Devontae Smith got the ball quite a lot. Running back by committee, tush push, go Kelsey. Like that's honestly what the offense is. And I'm not ready to say that the Eagles are in trouble this week because it's Zach Wilson remade, remastered.
Yeah.
But man, I don't want to say that the Jets lose. Because at this point in the year, as annoying as the New York Jets have been in the past, they're sort of a feel-good story now.
Yeah.
You want them to win. Yeah. Later tonight, Amazon Prime Video, Thursday Night Football. I don't understand how the Jets... Well, I do understand how it happened to the Jets because they had Aaron Rodgers. That's how they wound up on a bunch of primetime games. But the NFL schedule makers have done us dirty because the last game that we watched on Thursday Night Football was Bears versus Commanders in a cripple fight. Yep. This week, we get Broncos versus Chiefs. I don't think this one is close.
It's not going to be. You're right.
So you think Kelsey is fully healthy, he's going out there. The rest of the offense for the Chiefs fully healthy going out there.
Yeah.
Do the Broncos have a chance? If the Broncos win this game, why would they have?
Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL.
Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL. That's crazy. Okay, but realistic, actually.
But realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the Broncos win the game, the headline isn't Broncos win stunner.
Yeah.
Pull off last second field goal to win the game. Russell Wilson throws for 350 yards. No,
Mahomes
the headline is
season with torn ACL.
Oh, that's true. Messed up knee.
A mid-loss.
Yeah, they don't even give credit. Who'd they lose to? I don't know, bro. He tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this game is close. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get some of our picks in. So we'll do the 2 college football games that we talked about, and then we will do the 3 NFL games that we talked about. If you want Monday Night Football coverage, we will have that for you on our Monday episode that is coming out on Monday next week.
Yes.
We aren't pulling another Tuesday thing. But for the NCAA football, that first game that we're going to pick, actually, I'm interested in picking Georgia versus Vanderbilt just because I think Vanderbilt's getting tossed around like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Georgia's favored by 31.5. The over-under's at 56.5. I think Georgia covers, and I'm taking the over.
Shocker. How about this? Vanderbilt covers.
No way.
And we'll say over.
Okay. All right. Oregon versus Washington. Washington favored by 3. Over under at 67. I think Oregon covers. I'm taking the under.
Oregon covers as well and under as well, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Last game. I'm just gonna shut my mouth on this one. You guys already know what I think.
Yeah.
USC Notre Dame. Somehow Notre Dame is favored by 3. Over unders at 60.
USC covers and over.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
Let's look at that Jags game. So the Jags playing against the Colts.
Yep.
Jacksonville favored by
Jags.
4 in Jacksonville, over under at 44.5. I think Jacksonville covers, and I'm taking the over because we scored 31 last game.
We did. I'll take Jacksonville and the under. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game because we're not gonna be able to figure it out. I don't think.
Yeah, you just have that feeling with Jacksonville that any given week is going to be the week that it just all goes to crap, and it's not going to work out. Philadelphia versus the New York Jets. Philly is favored only by 7. Over under at 41.
Eagles cover and over, I think, for that one.
Jets cover under.
Oh, wow.
We are directly opposed there. Broncos Chiefs Thursday Night Football. Kansas City is favored by 19.5. No, by 10.5.
Okay,
10.5. Sorry, I'm not drunk. All right, 10.5.
Yeah, they cover, and the over under is 47. Pegged at 47. I'll take over on that one.
Yeah, I think Kansas City could score 47 alone on the Broncos. So Kansas City covers. I'm taking the over there. So those are our picks. Right before we wrap up, let's go ahead and do our best and worst of the week. I'll go first. We'll start with best of the week. For me, best of the week is Red October in Philly. It's back. You love seeing it. I get another game tonight. At the very least, I have one more game with a Red October in Philly, and I'm looking forward to it just because the crowd is so raucous. People are excited about baseball. What's your best of the week?
My best of the week, gosh, man, probably the Rangers. I mean, we have, I don't know. It's a tie between the Rangers and the Diamondbacks right now. Like, both are hot. They're rolling. I just want to see some good baseball. So that's my best of the week. They're surprising us. Diamondbacks more than the Rangers, I think. And we're just seeing some good baseball.
Yeah, that is true. Worst of the week, I think Kershaw may actually be done.
Yeah,
possibly. And I think my true worst of the week is Kershaw getting booed off the field.
Yeah, that's a good one.
How about you?
My worst of the week is that this might be the last time, or this might be the last game in the series that we've been talking about, Atlanta and Philly, and it could be over tonight. So
could be over tonight. Don't want it to be. I want one more in Atlanta just because I thought the series deserved 7 at the beginning. But no, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So for the final time, I do want to let you guys know that contest is live as soon as this episode is published.
Yeah.
If you guys just comment a number anywhere on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram Reels, or in the Spotify question that is asked if you're listening on Spotify, I'll consider that your official submission. But everybody only gets one. Everybody only gets one. Whatever you put in first is what we're going with. The question being, how many hats, professional baseball hats, does Peyton have?
Yeah.
We're not including any minor league hats that Peyton may have because I know he has a Jumbo Shrimps hat or 2.
Yeah.
But we're not only professional baseball hats. How many does Peyton have? Comment your submission in the form of a number, and we'll shout you out next Thursday. I don't want to say that we're going to have you on, but we could, depending on who wins. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So this is another DNH episode on Thursday. We'll be back Monday. I am Alex Pichardo, the host and producer.
And I'm the co-host, Peyton Pichardo. You dig? We'll see you later.
We will see you.